Okay, CROP. So what happened is C being eaten and then temporarily stored in this region. And then you can see if I put a probe right through the crop and into this tube right here, that's esophagus. Okay, can you guys see that? All right, so that tube right there is esophagus. So don't confuse, excuse me, the one next to it. The one next to it is kind of ring structure. That's the trachea. Okay, so don't confuse esophagus with trachea. All right, and then if you go downwards, you will see the structure right here. So this one right here, if you touch it, it's very hard. Okay, it's very tough. That's gizzard. All right, and then the tube come prior to the gizzard. This tube right here is the proventriculus. Okay, so proventriculus is actually connected to the gizzard. All right, so don't confuse this one with intestine. So this is proventriculus, that's gizzard. All right, and then after gizzard, then you will see the tubular structure is intestine. Okay, but the organ I want you to pay attention to is actually in between this loop of intestine. You will see the structure right here. Okay, that's pancreas. Okay, so on the video you will hear I said that's spleen, but no, we don't have to know spleen in birds. We just need to know that's pancreas. All right. And then right next to the gizzard, you will see this organ right here. Okay, that by looking at the color and texture, pretty much you would know that's liver. Okay, so it's pretty typical.
Which one is it?
Liver.
Oh.
Yeah. And then if I flip all the way to the back, and maybe you can guess what I'm going to talk about. That would be kidney. Okay, so kidney is right there. Can you guys see that? Okay, so that's kidney, and then it's one on each side. The other one's right there. Okay, so either one, every time you see something point all the way to the back towards the bottom, then you would know that's kidney. And then their anus is, we don't call it anus, but we call it cloaca. Because what happened is their digestive system and reproductive system share the same opening. Okay, and then you go to the chest region, then you will see the heart. And in the heart section, he will ask you, comparing to mammals, what difference is this, like, what's the size difference? So relative to their body size, if I bring up a mammal with the same body size, the mammal will have a smaller heart. And then birds, comparing to the mammal, will have a larger heart because they need a more efficient heart to pump out blood for flying. Okay? And then right next to the heart, you will see this two blue. It's not necessary to be blue, but it's always right next to the heart. These two organs right here. Okay, so those are lungs. Okay, so it's right next to the heart. And then I know on the bottom it says air sacs. Air sacs usually, or most likely, we will not test you on it, but I just want to show you. Can you see that clear film with cavity inside? Okay, air cavities inside. Okay, so that's what we call air sacs. And it's throughout the body, but the problem is when I cut it open, it's gone. So we would never ask you that. And as for testes and ovaries, we don't ask you because if it's non-reproductive season, it shrinks. Can you see that? It shrinks. So it's usually very hard for us to tell, oh, if that's ovary or testes. So we would not ask you that. Okay, so that's pretty much about birds, about like bird dissection. So let me just review very quick. So if you see in the neck, the empty sac is called crop. Okay, crop is leading into the smooth tubular structure right here. That's what we call esophagus. Okay, and then you don't have to know trachea, but just don't confuse trachea with esophagus. Okay, and then you go into the abdominal region. You see this huge and this tough organ, that's gizzard. And then the tube connected to the gizzard, this part right here is what we call proventriculus. And you go downwards, you see the tubular structure just like regular intestine. Okay, it's very easy to identify. And then for the very first loop of intestine, in between the loop, you will see this structure right here. That's pancreas. Okay? And then you see this organ right here. By looking at the texture, color, you pretty much know that's liver. And then if he tests you all the way to the back, that will be kidney. Okay? And then you go back to the chest region, you see that's the heart. They have two atria, okay, and then two ventricles if I open it up. But he would not ask you